Welcome to the video. Today we're going over diets. Let's get started. Welcome back. Today we're going to be discussing some diets. This is going to be diets regarding health and longevity, and diets just to get you either in shape or lean, or if you're trying to be a bodybuilder, this could work as well. A lot of these ideas can overlap. You can mix them together, whatever you find beneficial. I'd like to disclaimer here that I am not a doctor. I'm also not a nutritionist. This is just my opinion. This is not medical advice. So if you have any questions or concerns, always consult your doctor first. So first, let's talk about diets for the heart. So the first thing that you're going to want to aim for is lowering your blood pressure. You do not want your heart to work harder than it has to. If you're overweight, if you have high blood pressure, this can cause a lot of stress on the heart. So you want to try to eliminate as much of that as possible. Obviously, with a heart condition, it is a little harder to work out. So that's why the diet is so critical. Now, a lot of the cardiologists suggest either a Mediterranean diet, which, is high fish, trying to get the omega-3s in. It becomes unrealistic to want to eat, say, fish all the time, try to avoid processed food. In our day of life, it's next to impossible. Another one that they recommend is a low sodium diet. Well, the problem is, even with stuff with low calories, the sodium is through the roof. You can look at something such as a Propel, something like a sauce. They are through the roof on sodium. And yes, sodium is bad for you. It causes a lot of water retention, but it's not the main problem. And a lot of cardiologists, from what I found, avoid the main problem. And yes, these diets do work, but at the level that you need it to, maybe not. What I found beneficial is a keto diet. A keto diet is basically cutting out the carbs and doing high protein and trying to keep the calories low as well. Another thing that's very beneficial, and this could be used in either if you're just trying to lose weight or if you're trying to keep your blood pressure down, is intermittent fasting. A 16-8 split is recommended. If you can go longer than that, that is also better. But a 16-8 split at the minimum, and this prevents blood pressure spikes. So what happens is when you eat food such as carbs, anything, for example, sugars, when you eat, it spikes your insulin level, and that insulin level spikes up, and it spikes your triglycerides, and everything gets spiked in your body. And when this happens, since we're a closed circuit system, this raises our blood pressure. Now, when we do a shorter feeding window, this eliminates the amount of times that it can be spiked. And this also prevents a chronic level of spiking. This is a lot healthier on the body. Now, this is also a great tool too, if you're like me and the second food touches your mouth, you can't stop eating. So for me, an intermittent fasting regime is much more beneficial, because for me, when I start eating later in the day, I can put my 3 meals back to back, and in that way, I'm not overeating. So especially if I'm eating less calories per day. So say my first meal's 400 calories, my next meal's 400 calories, my next meal's 400 calories. Since those are all so close together, I do not feel like I'm starving. And for some reason, for me, if I have a coffee in the morning, I can seem to make it till 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon before I'm hungry. Because a lot of times I used to skip breakfast, so that's just something I'm personally used to. But that is a beneficial way to keep the blood pressure down, and intermittent fasting is beneficial for other things as well. It is also good for inflammation, and is good for diabetes, and a few other things. I don't know everything about it, but it does become very beneficial. And what I found when I personally did it was my blood pressure was about 160/90, which is awfully high. And I was able to get it down to 125 over 60, which is much better. And what I found is even when I was restricting my calories, it was the carbs that were the main issue. And every time I had carbs in my diet, I noticed that even if I was in shape, I was lean, my blood pressure would still be on the high side, not necessarily the 160, but 140, 130, a little on the high side, nothing scary, but I'm trying to optimize my health. So what I found is when I get rid of the carbs, get rid of the hamburger buns, get rid of the breads, get rid of the popcorn, that seems to be the best way to get the blood pressure down. So now I want to transition into just getting in shape and getting lean because they both kind of come together as one at some level. Obviously, the better in shape you are, the better your blood pressure is going to be. The leaner you are, the less water retention you're going to hold, and just overall health and benefits you're going to have. And the smaller your body is, the less work your heart has to do. So it all kind of comes together. So now I'm going to kind of discuss some diet stuff on how to get, to 15% to 10% body fat, as far as you want to take it. But this diet can get you there as long as you follow it to the T. So I want to start off by showing you some foods that I think are very beneficial in staying in a calorie deficit. There is also some great apps out there that I will show you one later in the video that you can track your calories with if you want to be very precise. There's also apps out there to calculate your maintenance calories and see where you're starting at. And then obviously you're going to want to reduce from there. I would recommend staying within 500 calories at the start of your maintenance and then slowly working your way down. Obviously, the best way to diet is a diet you can stick to, and that is the key. Most diets fail because most people, they start off at their maintenance of 3,000 calories per day or whatever they may be at to start with, and then all of a sudden they crash diet down to 1,500 calories and they are starving. And then they wonder why they can't stick with it. Subtle changes make a big difference. And one thing that I like to preach is don't drink your calories. This is a big one. Save it all for the food. When I say don't drink your calories, that means don't be drinking 400 calorie Starbucks drinks. Don't be drinking sodas with calories in it. Diet sodas with 0 calories are completely fine in my opinion. Don't drink Gatorades with a bunch of sugar and calories. The 0 sugar one's completely fine. And even just that small change of stop drinking your calories, if you eat the same way the rest of the day, can make a world of difference. You cannot believe how many people overconsume calories just from beverages. That soda, for example, may have 160 calories. That Gatorade might have 80. That coffee might have 400. I read this thing once that to burn off a Big Mac walking on the treadmill is 2 hours and 10 minutes at 3 miles per hour. That is a long time. So just think, if you're consuming a coffee in the morning that is 400 calories, roughly maybe about the same as that burger, okay, maybe a little less, you would have to at least walk an hour and a half. And I'm guesstimating here, but that is already starting off in a calorie hole. You do not want to be stuffing your face with sugars and junk already at the start of the morning. So obviously, stop drinking your calories. And if you cut out sodas, you cut out all that stuff, if you're eating horribly the rest of the day, but that one change, you could probably lose 10, 15 pounds alone because you'd be cutting out maybe close to 1,000 calories. It just depends how much you drink in calories, but there is a lot of people I know that drink 6, 7 sodas a day. They have their daily coffee. They're drinking just juices a lot, just stuff compact with sugar. And that is not good for your blood pressure as well. Another thing that is very important is just find the foods that you already eat and then try to find them in a reduced fat, a no sugar, or a calorie cut of some sort. Most foods that you enjoy already, if it be popcorn, if it be bread, if it be tortillas, there is a version out there that is less calories. So be calorie conscious. And this alone can make a big difference because For example, say you like cheese a lot, excuse me, and you put cheese on everything. Well, instead of getting that cheddar cheese with 110 calories, maybe you get that cheddar cheese that's reduced fat that only has 90. And maybe you're using so much that you could be cutting out 400 or 500 calories. And if you don't overeat too bad, that could be enough to put you in a calorie deficiency, and then you can start losing weight. Um, so I want to show off a few foods here that I really think help stay into a diet. For me, I've done the dieting thing when I was bodybuilding, so I'm pretty used to eating at low calories around, for me, I'm at about 1700 right now. My normal is about 2300. So I'm obviously about a couple hundred calories in the hole, but I found a lot of foods that take up a lot of mass in your stomach and don't have a lot of calories, and I think that is key. You want to eat as much as possible by taking in as little calories as possible. And here's what I find helps the most. So the first thing I want to start with, egg whites. Egg whites only have 25 calories for 3 tablespoons. Now that is a lot less than normal eggs, and it's full of protein. Protein will keep you full longer. Another thing, low to no calorie sauces. 0 calorie sauces are key. You could do things like mustard, tapatio, sriracha. There is a bunch out there. There's amino acids, that's more like a teriyaki sauce. If you are big into sauces, I recommend trying to find reduced calorie sauces or sugar-free sauces, because some of the worst sauces for you are barbecue sauces. Ketchup's pretty bad for you, but they all have reduced sugar ones, and those can make the world of difference, because a lot of people put too much sauce on this stuff, and that leads them to overeating their calories without even knowing. And I've seen a lot of people make this mistake where they're eating, say, 1,500 calories a day, but then they don't count the ranch that they put on their salad. They don't count the ketchup they used on their eggs. And next thing you know, you have 2,000 plus calories on your day and you didn't even know it. The next one, fat-free Ready Whip. This is 5 calories for 2 tablespoons. So this one is very awesome for things such as adding it to sugar-free Jell-O. Now, sugar-free Jell-O has 10 calories for 1/8 of a package. So this whole thing, under 50 calories. And this makes quite a bit of Jell-O. You put a little of this on it, say 50 calories plus another 10 calories worth on there, you got a dessert right there. And they also make sugar-free pudding. Obviously, no, it does not taste as good as the real stuff. But once you start this diet process and you're into it deep enough, you start appreciating those things. And the sugar-free stuff really isn't that bad. Another good little dessert item, rice cakes. Good for right before the gym as well. Helps with getting a pump, get a little carbs in you. Obviously, I said to stay away from carbs for the heart stuff. But if you're really trying to get lean, if you're, 10% body fat, these can become a nice tool. So these ones have 60 calories. There's the caramel ones here. They have 50 calories. And then you can also add this on top if you like. You can add a few berries on top. Very good. Also too, sugar-free syrup. Sugar-free syrup, let's see, where's the calories on this one? 10 calories per serving. So there's things out there like Kodiak pancakes that are protein pancakes, and sugar-free syrup is very good on those. Pretty much, you can have a lot of your normal stuff. You just gotta watch the calories. Same with cheese. Fat-free mozzarella has 45 calories per serving. Now that is about half of any normal cheese. Normal cheeses are around 9 to 110 calories per serving. So that is a big reduction. And for me, I love cheese. So I tend to put a lot of cheese on stuff. So, anywhere I can cut the corners on calories, I will. Another big thing too, I said don't drink your calories earlier, okay? So things like this are very beneficial. These little packets have 5 calories per serving. There's a multitude of flavors out there. You can make your water whatever flavor you want. And that is, I think, a big key. And then, you know, you can also do the diet sodas. They have 0 calories. And also, too, they say that the bubbles in there make you feel like you're full longer. You can do the Cascade Ices have 0 calories. Propels have 0 calories. Sugar-free Gatorades are 0 or close to it. Sugar-free energy drinks. Coffees, if it's just black coffee, is 2 calories. So a lot of this stuff, you can have what you want. I mean, a lot of us already drink the sugar-free energy drinks and sugar-free sodas. So that is a key to keep you on the right track. Another thing that's good to have is an avocado oil. This has 10 calories per serving, and that is key to cutting out your olive oils and stuff like that, because those are dense in calories. For the same serving size, you're getting about 130 calories, I think, per like capful or 1/4 cup, and that is quite a bit of calories. And then when you add that to every single meal, you're raking up the calories. So say you're cooking a steak and you throw in a whole bunch of olive oil in there, that is dense with calories, and you didn't even know that you just added a whole bunch of calories, because most people don't even think about when we add stuff in like that. Another great tool is the Smart Pop. These are a little smaller serving size, but they only have 100 calories per bag. And then you can also get little seasonings that are like 0 calorie to 5 calorie seasonings, and you can make this whatever flavor you want. And those are good to keep you full longer. And then another big one would be things like keto wraps. These have 45 calories or 50 calories per serving, and it's one serving is 1 tortilla. And you would not believe how many calories are in just a standard tortilla. For the same size, you're roughly looking at 110 calories. And then for the bigger ones that make a little bigger burrito, you're looking at 220. So you can have now 4 tortillas for the same as 1 normal tortilla. Also, too, you can look at things such as keto bread, 35 calories per slice of bread. Now you can have toast in the morning. You can do the sugar-free jam. And now you have more options where you can have sandwiches, because, you know, a sandwich overall isn't bad for you, but the bread starts adding up. So now you can not have to worry about that with things such as this. And then obviously there's a multitude of other things that you can get as well. You just got to try to find things that are low in calories, and then try to make sure that you're not over consuming on anything. Obviously, the best way to go about it is tracking your calories. There is a lot of cool apps out there that you can use where you can just scan the barcodes on a lot of these things, and they're already in the system. And then you just type in how much of it you are trying to have, if it's 2 servings or 1 whole rice cake or whatever that may be. So I'm going to show you now a little bit of breakfast of what I normally do on a normal day. And we're going to do a little cooking video. And then after that, I'm going to show you some apps that I use and how I track my calories. Over one of my most common made breakfast items in the morning. Today we're going to be making egg white breakfast burritos. All right, let's get started. All right, so I pre-chopped all my vegetables already. So here we got cilantro, onion, the jalapenos that you buy in the jar, and then an actual jalapeno itself. The reason I got both here is just because I had a little left over from another night's meal, so I just want to get rid of them. We're also going to be needing some tortillas. Tortillas are normally pretty bad for you. That's why I get the keto version. The keto version only has 50 calories, so much better than your normal 110 to 220 calorie wraps. So that is a lot better than the other ones. We're also going to be using some fat-free mozzarella. Fat-free mozzarella only has 45 calories per 1/4 cup. And I will only be using 1/4 of a cup today. I'm gonna also be using a little cooking spray. This is the avocado oil spray. And on this, for 5 pumps is 10 calories. We probably will only use about 5 pumps. And then I'm also gonna be doing egg whites. Egg whites itself only have 25 calories for 3 tablespoons. So on this here, I roughly do 276 grams. Okay, we're at 275, close enough. All right. And then in order to top it off, I'm gonna use some Tapatio. Tapatio should be 0 calories, as you can see here. And then also, this might surprise you, but 1 piece of bacon. Now this is gonna be going over 3 burritos. So I'm gonna be using 1 piece, which for 2 pieces is 80 calories. So for 1 piece, it should be 40 calories. And we'll be spreading that over 3 burritos. Let's start cooking. All right, and here's our finished product, 3 egg white breakfast burritos. After this, I'll show you the app that I use to track the calories and how many calories are in this full breakfast. All right, now we're gonna go over the fitness app to track my calories. I found this one, it's called Track. This was actually shown to me by my girlfriend. I used to use MyFitnessPal, but I didn't want to pay for the monthly subscription in order to gain all the benefits that this app can do for free. So the app is called Track. You can get it for iOS, for iPhone. I'm not sure if it's capable on Androids, but if you have an Android, you can always take a look. But to get into the app, here we go. Here is a list of my last couple meals. We got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For me, I don't really put vegetables in here because I don't think they amount to enough calories to really care to track them. As you can see, on this day of eating, I was around 1,439 calories. I have it set at 1,700 roughly. I probably had a snack in there that I forgot to track because usually I don't try to stay around 1,400. I try to push a little closer to that 1,700. But as you can see, a lot of the stuff that I already went over earlier in the video, we got the breakfast that I showed in the video. And then for lunch, we had, it looks like a yakisoba of some sorts. And then I had obviously some vegetables in that. And then later that night, it looks like we had some burgers with the keto buns. And obviously there was lettuce, tomatoes, onions, stuff like that on there. Obviously some low-calorie dressings were used for sure. But this is what it looks like in the app. If you want to add stuff in, you just hit the little plus sign next to your breakfast or your lunch or your dinner. You can also hit the barcode up at the top in the search bar. You can scan your items, and you should be able to find most of your items there. If you can't find it, you can always punch it in manually, and that works as well. And you can also, too, from prior days, if you're eating the same meal, you can go back to the prior day, and you can copy it and put it into this day's meal plan. So yeah, this is what the app looks like. It is free on the App Store, and I found this one to be the best. And then, you know, regarding my diet stuff, before my heart stuff, I was on this really strict diet that tracked all my calories, same as this. And I just want to show off a picture of my physique to show you that this diet does work. So let me go to that real fast. All right, so here's a picture of me. I'm roughly 10 to 12% body fat. Obviously some visible abs, some good definition. I was probably about 205 pounds there. Obviously I had a little more in the face and the sides to lose, but nothing crazy. Obviously, you know, really lean through the torso. But yeah, this diet does work. So I highly recommend, trying to get some tips out of it, and hopefully it works for you as good as it worked for me. And that concludes the video. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. Make sure to hit the notifications bell. And next week, we're going to be going over some fitness and gym stuff. See you at the next one.